months. We've had two boys in university, plus me working from home, internet issues, those kinds of things. We live in the country, so just outside of Brandon, and so yeah, we've had the past few months. We've adjusted just fine. We've all landed where we're supposed to, and one is still in university, the other didn't like the Zoom, not in person sort of university life. So he's taken a step back this year and working, and the other one's in the middle of exams right now. So
Mm-hmm. Right.
yeah.
Perfect. And what's an indulgence?
That's, I don't really have any big indulgence. I guess I would call it an indulgence, but I would call it what I like to do, and that's getting outside just to walk my dog and play. Just me, my dog in the country, through the trees, hear the birds. That's what I would call my indulgence.
Perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. Beautiful. Thanks. Hey, Jamie?
All right. So Jamie Drapaka. I'm from Bonnyville. I actually live about 2 miles from Kim's house. If you're still there, you're still in the same house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Kim and I have known each other going on probably nearly 20 years at this stage. But even some more twisted history between our families and friends and things like that. So I am currently the finance manager for a company called NES Global Limited. So it's an international company. We do like recruiting, placement, that type of thing. So, and then we also payroll those those recruits, I guess. So I'm been with, so the NES bought out the company I was with prior to this career, I guess. It was called SureFlow. And so I've been now with them as an employee full-time for 5 years, I believe, or yeah, anyway, timing doesn't matter. I worked contract with them and with SureFlow for about 7 years, even prior to that. So I took a position with this company, like I said, about 4 or 5 years ago as the payroll manager. And probably maybe 2 years ago, I promoted to assistant finance manager, and then last August promoted to finance manager. So I can relate to the taking on more tasks. Unfortunately, we still don't have a new payroll manager. So at this point in time, I'm feeling like I'm really doing both jobs still. And I finally went to my manager and said, I've hit my breaking point. Like it's just, things have to change. That was also part of this journey, is trying to figure out for myself as well if I can save that career or if it's just time to move on. I also am married. I have 2 daughters, so lots of very similar things here as we went through. So I have one daughter in university, so she's going through Grant MacEwan in Edmonton, but we're in about 2.5 hours out, so she's online as well right now at home with me. So I've been working at home. We did go back last summer for a few months until things got crazy again in the fall. So I was at home last spring and again since November this year. And yeah, so my daughter and I are both working from home. We're doing university and me working. And then I have another 15 going on 16-year-old daughter in high school. So she's in person class for now. We'll see how much longer that lasts.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, so we've been through the whole at home. My husband was actually laid off as part of COVID. And so then he was around lots, which was actually kind of nice when the kids were at home and trying to figure this all out. And now that he's back to working, unfortunately, that work has been a lot in Fort Mac. So he's away more. So then again, trying to rebalance nonstop with, with our family life and everything else. So it just seems to be a roller coaster of things all the time, always busy, always, like I said, trying to figure out what's next. And yeah, did I cover all the bases other than, and then my indulgence, I guess, pre-COVID? I would have said probably travel. You know, I've always loved traveling. I guess maybe again, because, you know, we dedicate ourselves so much to work, that was probably the one time you could kind of shut down and dedicate yourself to your family and your, or each other, you know, if it was just Trevor and I going on a trip to get away or with the kids, that family time. So I guess still my indulgence would be family time. It just, like I said, there never seems to be enough time. So it just, even just, yeah, going for a walk or going for game night or anything like that, that would still probably be my indulgence, but hopefully getting back to travel someday with that too. So
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Jamie.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of similarities between you two. Wow. Like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And when you said travel, Jamie, I was like, yeah, that's my other indulgence.
Yeah, we forget that we used to do that, right?
Right.
It's been a
Yeah,
couple
totally
years.
forgot.
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
totally. No, I think it's amazing. And, you know, that's why when we do group work, it's so, the energy is so different than when you do one-on-one, because all of a sudden now, you know, you connect with someone brand new and it's like, oh my gosh, she's kind of feeling the same way I am, and we're going through similarities, right? And then learning from each other along the way of how do you cope, how do I cope. And you know, within these group coaching calls, it's not just me talking, like it's, you know, it's group and sharing each of our own strategies and what works and what doesn't work, and yeah, our story, because we learn from each other more than we learn from someone just teaching us do this and this and this, right? So I appreciate you sharing. I guess just a quick little bit just about me for Carla, especially. So yes, I live out in the country too, outside of Bonnyville, and I have two daughters. They are 13 and 15, so grade 7 and grade 9. We are in the midst of teenagers in our house, female hormones. So yeah, it's always exciting here. Yeah, and so as you know, just launched my membership site and website, and really excited to be going on this journey, even though it's just the same thing I've been doing for the last 5 years, but just in kind of a different place, right? Within the internet and more online, of course. It's funny that, you know, both of you, your indulgences were not what mine was, because mine went straight to food. That's yeah. So definitely a chocolate.
Chocolate crossed my mind, yeah, but I was trying to, yeah.
I know, and
I hear the
I
word
was,
indulgence, and yes, food comes to mind, but
I know, right? And I'm
unfortunately,
like,
food for me is usually more of a necessity than a, you know, a
yeah,
want to go. It's a chore.
yeah, right. Yeah. So anyway, that is definitely one of mine, and my kids now, they don't share very much, so which is good because I have that indulgence, but I also don't have a lot of willpower, so it doesn't go well together. So but I do enjoy it. So, and I would say travel for sure. Brad and I just kind of started traveling more, and yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to be really optimistic that once everyone is vaccinated, that we are going to be going. Next, I'm going to say for sure next year at this time, we're all going to be traveling. So, if not sooner. So,
Here's hoping. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
We just might not get back to
I-
Canada. That's the
Yes.
only side of it. We just might have to stay somewhere else.
Well, I guess if I'm in, you know, Mexico or the Bahamas, maybe I will just stay.
Yeah, we can work from anywhere now, right?
That's exactly. That's
We
right.
proved it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, totally. Totally. Okay, so just kind of touching base, did I have either of you looked through the website or the membership site? And if you haven't, it's fine. I'm just trying to touch base on where everyone is.
Briefly, I mostly the night I signed up, I think, and I haven't
Okay.
had much time to go back, but signed up for, you know, the first course, and that's about as far as I got.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I haven't signed. I did the same thing, and then I think because I was having trouble because I was on my phone, I think, and I was seeing something different. And so I haven't gone. I kind of we emailed back and forth a little bit, and he said it was working now, and so I kind of just did a scan, and I saw, like, I'm familiar. I kind of walked through the video. You're
Oh, good.
listening
Yeah.
to the video to walk walk you through the website. And so, yeah, I'm familiar with it. I haven't signed up for any of the courses or anything yet, though, but
Nope.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly do a little screen share here. And I'm just going to show you two things. So yeah, there is that video that I sent you that just kind of goes through every single thing. Once I'm recording this right now, so it will go in here into the training, so that if you do miss a week and you want to watch it, this is where you will find it. The other thing I wanted to bring is the events.
So Kim, on that training side of it, then anybody has access to watch these videos after, or like on anyone that's on this membership kind of thing?
Only who's on the membership. Yeah.
Okay.
Only who's paid for this.
Right, but like I said, but all your sessions basically are recorded and posted there.
That's right. Yes, that's right. Yeah. And then just to look at the events. So here are the group coaching sessions. That'll be every Tuesday. And the link is there too for Zoom. If for some reason, you can't find it in your email or whatever, it's the same link every single time. So you don't have to find a new one every time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we can change our calendar event to recurring.
Yeah, that's right.
Same one.
Yep, same one. Also just working on now, there will be interviews every month with someone new. And so I'm just working on that right now, but that's where also you will find this. And of course, you'll be emailed that information too. But if you need reminders, this is where you would go to the events to find that. And the other thing is up here where it says Dawn, that's my middle name. So Kim gets me in the back end. Dawn makes me I look like a student then, so I can see what you're seeing. I'm working, so if you go into your notifications, you should both have a little dot there. We are working on right now so that can connect to an email. So you'll get an email saying, oh, you have a notification in Female Changemakers. So the notification is just me saying hello, and that's within the community. So if I just go to community, that's where that notification would take you. Okay, so yesterday I had just welcomed everyone here, and I encouraged everyone to introduce themselves. So Allison has introduced herself here. And yeah, feel free if you want to do that whenever you get back on. But I just wanted to bring your attention to that I am getting the email set up. But if you do go in and you see a little blue dot there, that's what it just means, that you've been mentioned, or there's just something new in the community that you can look at.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just a quick question with that. I think the notification came out in WordPress. Was it a WordPress document? I wasn't sure how to reply or put my introduction, I guess, up. I wasn't sure. It looked different to me when it came through, so I wasn't sure if that was I just noticed hers, the one lady, I think it was Allison, perhaps, was showing up there under yours, Allison. Yeah. How did it make it up here in the update? So would I have come on here on the community and then put my intro in here?
Yeah, I think, yes, I guess that's what you would have to do. Because I think when you go into notifications, it doesn't take you to the community, does it? Is that what you mean when you say that?
Well, I received the email from you to say, introduce yourself. Here's sort of the list. I think there were emails or hashtags with our names within the email, body of the email. But it came through my email as almost like a graphic box, and it said WordPress on the top. So I'm wondering, because I didn't know do I reply all, or how do I get my introduction out to everybody? And so I hit reply all, but it didn't seem to capture anybody's email within the platform, my email platform, I guess.
Okay, So I think, yeah, you'll have to come in and do it on here
On here?
itself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense then, now that I see this, yes.
And if you wouldn't mind, could you please, could you forward me that email?
Yep.
This is, and I appreciate this very much. This is kind of part of the whole, being a founding member and getting the discount that everyone did, because this technology in the back of this site is just unbelievably overwhelming to me. And I do have, I have my guy, but I didn't know that there was something connected. And so if, I can kind of see what that is, because I didn't get an email. So anyway, if you don't mind doing that, I would very much appreciate that.
Yeah, I can just do a reply to you, and
Okay.
you'll see what I saw.
Okay, yeah. Or you can just forward it to me too, as what you, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you so much. Are there any other questions at this moment about the site? I'm not going to go through it all. It's in that video. And if you do have questions,
Was the founding members, is that just the first month is discounted, or does that continue? Just out of curiosity.
no, that's for the year.
Oh, okay, so it will stay at that each month.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and that discount will not ever be again. It won't be half off again. So yeah.
Right. So I got in there that I'm like, nothing else, just like I said, that's the first step, right? Get yourself
Totally.
get yourself signed up. You put it off and you never will, kind of
That's
thing.
right.
So it's like,
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if there aren't any other questions, any time when we come back every Tuesday, once everything gets working extremely well, hopefully there won't be tons of tech questions, but every Tuesday, definitely we can talk about if there are tech problems. And you can email me, of course, at any time too. So, okay. Okay, so we're going to do a little exercise. I guess my first question to you is, if you, off the top of your head, without thinking about it, what would you say your most important relationship is in your life right now?
you're toss up between spouse and kids. I don't know.
Same.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that's really normal. That's usually
So
what
family.
people will say. Yeah. But I'm going to say you're wrong.
Yeah, should be us, right? You could have
Yourself.
said me.
Probably should be me, but yeah,
I know.
definitely.
And this is why I have a job, right? Like, and don't get me wrong, this has been a hard lesson for me to learn. And so we talk about it lots, and we know all the sayings, right? Like, if we have a full cup, then we can give to everyone else, da, 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 da. And in the middle now of you two, both trying to fill two positions, full-time plus family, it's so hard to say, okay, I'm number one and I'm gonna, do this and this for myself. But that's what we're gonna figure out, how to do that so that you can be the best at your job and give there, but also have enough yet left to give to everything else also. So a lot of times we need reminders about how great we are and how deserving we are. And I know there was there's a little quote, and it says something like, we take years of schooling, but no one ever teaches us the importance of just really loving ourselves, right? We learn about how to look after everything else, but we don't necessarily learn to like ourselves. We're not taught it. We teach our kids, and we try to, make sure that, you're good enough and you're really good at this, da, 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 but we don't say the same thing back to ourselves. And so we're going to kind of, work on that. So what I would like you to do right now is think about, if someone was about to give you a compliment, or someone gives you a compliment, how do you react? Can you
I
accept it?
thank them, but I'm usually uncomfortable.
Yep. It's really common.
Usually, or to kind of discount it, like, oh, it's not a big deal. I just do that every day. Like just kind of just
Totally.
blowing it off. Like that's, oh, I didn't do anything special. That's just what I do.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And if it's with clothing or anything, lots of times people are like, oh, this old thing, or, yeah. So absolutely. We do that all the time. But part of that is that relationship with ourselves and accepting that, oh, I am special. And we don't look at it that way, right? But that is what's happening. It's like, am I accepting that, oh, yes, someone thinks I am special or I've done a good job? And a lot of times people, especially people that we're close with, right? They see us better than we do. We have that negative thought pattern going in our head. And that's why when they say something nice, it's like, oh, well, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't make sense to what my head is saying. And so just a reminder, right, that people don't say nice things to us because they have to. No one's forcing them, right? They just do it. And so a lot of times, we need to, well, all the time, we need to listen when people are giving us those compliments and just reminding ourselves how special and important we are. So we're going to do a little activity just to kind of get this group rolling and hopefully feeling, kind of positive about yourself. So what you are going to do is you're going to think, I'll give you a couple or a minute, not too long, to think about things that you are either grateful for, things that you are celebrating, or anything that you're proud of. So it can be things you're proud of from your whole life. It doesn't have to be it can be in the present moment, but it can be in the past too, right? I could bring up, I'm proud that I used to barrel race and I've won buckles, and, you can go grateful. We can go into family, of course. You can go into work. You can go it doesn't matter. There's no rules. So stuff you're either proud of, you're grateful for, or things in your life that you celebrate that I can't believe that I did that. Because a lot of times, even in university, I used to keep my binders. I don't have them anymore, but I would read some of the essays that I wrote and I'd be like, who was that person? Like, I cannot, if it doesn't even seem like I was able to do that sort of thing, it's like, wow, that's pretty impressive, actually. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that you're going to talk for about 1 minute, and that might seem long, but it goes by really fast. And if you get stuck, I will help you through it, ask you some questions. And then those of us that are listening are going to pull some descriptor words that we feel would describe you just from you talking for 1 minute. So I will start so that you can kind of get an idea. There's no right or wrong here. You'll kind of go your own flow, but just to kind of give you an idea. So I'm going to set my timer though, so that I know that I don't go too far over or not long enough. Okay, so I am really proud to have launched this website and to have really kind of thought outside of the box, I think, a little bit, especially within COVID. I am really proud of where I am at from where I was, say, 15 years ago, depressed, suicidal, and really grateful for all of the help that I have had, and grateful for all the different impacts of people, like from energy healers to psychologists, psychiatrists, all the people that have impacted me. I'm just so, so grateful for that. I am grateful for the ability to have learned so much this past year, technology-wise, marketing-wise. It's just been, when people say that you start your own business, even though I've been doing it for a little while, they're like, it's the hardest thing you'll ever do. And you sometimes are like, really? Like, it's not that I ever thought it wasn't going to be hard, but I didn't know that there was this many facets to running your own business. So I am very proud and grateful for that. Okay. So now you, from me saying that, you're just going to list off a few words that describe me from what I've said.
Grateful. um,
The words that you have relayed to us is what you're saying. Like,
Yeah,
after
so
listening to you.
like, do you think, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna be blowing my own horn here in a way, but like kind, smart, driven, passionate, whatever it might come up to you.
Okay, gotcha. I'd say definitely compassionate.
yeah, I was gonna say passionate. Yeah.
And passionate.
And passionate, yeah. Two different.
Say, I don't know, overcoming for you. You from where you've been. You mentioned you started 5 years ago to where you are now. It's pretty amazing. That's pretty incredible. And the fact that you've launched a website, but you want one word, right? You want to write the.
Fine, you're good. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And confidence. I see confidence. I watched you on the TV show the other day.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, if only I could do that and get in front of people like that. That would be awesome. with drive and passion and confidence.
Nice. Thank you. Sorry, Jamie, did you say something?
No, I was just saying, I think, yeah, you've definitely found your calling. Like, you seem really driven towards, helping people and have found yourself, I guess, kind of in that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Okay. Thank you. So that is the exercise that we're going to do. And I'm going to write down your words too. And then I will, you don't need to worry about writing them down. I'll just send them to you then so that you can have them after. You just need to, focus on just allowing them to come to you. So, okay. Who would like to go first?
Neither one of us are jumping to it.
I know. I'm still thinking it through, I guess.
Know. I don't know if I can talk a minute, but I'll try. This is really uncomfortable, though. I don't even know how to talk about myself.
I know. Right? I know.
Yeah. So I don't even know where to start.
Okay, well, yeah. What are you proud of in the past 20 years that you've accomplished?
I guess, well, family, of course. Proud of my kids, my family, where we've come. We're out in the country. We've redone an old house that was a family house, and we've renovated it and maintained it now. Kept the family farm in the family. I guess my job, total learning experience from jumping. I took a risk years ago in a comfortable position, and I moved to the university, feeling I was way beyond my ability, but I jumped in. I took that risk at that time. It was a tough decision. Thinking, can I do this? Am I up for this? And just grown within that position, and met incredible people from around the world, because I was the alumni person, and so our alumni are around the world, and have made great friendships through work. And then moving into this position, as I had mentioned, bit of a game changer for me. I had to shift gears, and again, felt a bit like had the imposter syndrome. I'm like, I can't do this. This isn't me. I kind of have been moved into this position, and I'm thinking, I'm not worthy of this. Still, some days I'm like, I'm still not worthy of this. I need to work on that. I really do. Kim, and Jamie, I'm going to lean on you guys. For that vote of confidence. But there's some days where like you're working with people like that thinking, how do they manage all this? I'm struggling just to get from one meeting to the next and getting this stuff read before the next meeting. So I'm learning from others as well, but there's always in that back of my mind, can I do this? Am I worthy of this? Do I deserve this? And so, but I'm proud of it. I'm doing it. I've pushed through some awkward moments and some awkward times, thinking, they're all feeling the same way. Like, we've got to tackle this, and I don't have a clue what we're even talking about sometimes. Well above my my world, right? That,
Yeah.
you know, I work with a lot of people and they're probably thinking the same, right? We're all thinking, what can we bring to the table? So I think just pushing through that and then joining this group, looking for ways for personal growth. So I do believe if we work on ourselves and we grow within ourselves, we have so much more to offer. And just to bring that confidence.
Beautiful. You did amazing.
Am I done? Good. Is that a minute?
But you went beyond a minute. So
oh wow.
No, it's good. Yeah. You'd be surprised. You went 3.
Actually?
Yeah.
Oh, you should have cut me off.
No.
That's really uncomfortable for me to talk about myself. So there I go. I'm proud of this moment.
Exactly. Yes. And I'm not going to lie to you that part of this group is pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone a bit, because you're here because you want to change, right? And so you do need to be proud of those moments. And yeah, you've taken this step.
I'm recording this, Kim. Look at me, I'm a mess.
No. Okay,
Yeah.
so and the other
thing,
thing, and the other thing is that, you know, I want to say anyone who works with me, but 90% of people who work with me cry, and I don't take that personally.
You shouldn't.
Take that as a compliment, actually. That means that, you know, we have to take off those layers. And, you know, I didn't talk about it at the beginning a lot, but I will say it now so it's on the recording, is that when we come into this group, right, we come in with the understanding that what happens within this Female Changemakers membership stays here. But being vulnerable is part of that change, and it's part of supporting each other. Because as soon as someone else sees you being vulnerable, they're like, oh, I'm not the only one, right?
I wasn't checking the first day. I'm just going to grab a Kleenex.
Yeah. Don't be sorry.
That's our other famous Canadian problem, right? We're always
Right?
sorry.
Yeah.
And trying to break that habit in my kids too, is it's like, what are you sorry for? Like, you know, like, stop being sorry for it. Like, own it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, Jamie, you and I are going to give words then.
Oh, goodness. I was intently listening. I guess I wasn't pulling out words from it.
No, it's okay. Just take a minute.
Again, that growth and being vulnerable and putting, you know, that you're able to put yourself out there. And again, it's uncanny how much I can relate to all of this. Like, it's yeah, so making that, like you said, that career change and putting yourself out there, and like you said, continuing to growth. So growth, I guess, is my words.
And I would say courageous and brave. When we take risks, that's right. When we have fear or we're not sure, it's pushing through that, and that's hard. And so, yeah, very courageous and brave to take those risks. And I also put growth, I guess, would be part of it. And I also put open, meaning, you know, the open to growth.
That's what I was going to say, the open to change. Yeah. Open to good. Being vulnerable.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
That's the hard part.
That is. That totally is. And that's where people get stuck. Because honestly, we have to go through that to get to the other side where there's more peace and calm, or whatever your goal is, right? So yeah, so no, self-growth. Oh, I also put a connector. Like, I can see you when you were talking about, you know, all the people around the world, and you saying, I don't think I can speak for a minute. I doubt when you're visiting with people or connecting with work, you talk over a minute all the time when you talk to those people, right? But we look at it in a different setting because we're not talking about ourselves.
Exactly.
Right? But our energy and who we are goes out to those people. And so being able to make those connections, you would not be in this position if you weren't able to do that and do it well. So yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Okay, Jamie.
Okay, let's see if I can, yeah, talk for a minute. Again, I probably don't have a problem talking, but like you said, it's the content. Um, I think I'll kind of same thing, start my journey. I think I'm just proud of the entire, like if I look at my 20 years plus of adult life in a sense, like I can take that right back to I was married at 19 years old. And, so right from that day, like right from then, you all get a lot of skeptics, right? So here we are 21 years later or so, that, that, hey, we've made it through. You make it through your ups and downs. You forge through, and some days you're not sure who each other are anymore. But at the same time, it's like, what the end goal is, I guess. So I think that's a big part of it. Then to, again, having kids a couple years later with that. And then tying that all into a career. It always drove me crazy when people would say to me, "Oh, I'm lucky. Oh, you work? I'm lucky. I get to stay home with my kids." And I never looked at it that way, and I never wanted to look at it that way. I was lucky that I could do both. I, looked at our family life, and it's like, you know what? Yes, it was never I can't stay home. It was a choice, right? My husband could have adequately provided for us. We could have made different choices. We could have stayed home, but I was just never willing to let that go because I guess maybe even a fear of like starting over, right? When do you go back if you stay home? When do you go back? So I just pushed through, and we always found a way to make it work, and juggling kids and sports and work and everything else. And I made career changes throughout I seem to be about an every 5-year person. So I feel like maybe this is where my 5 years is coming up with this, like every 5 years or 5 to 7 years seemed to be a change kind of thing. So that's where it left me, 4 or 5 years ago with an opportunity to take this role. I actually initially turned it down because I was in a very comfortable position. It was, very laid back. I had lots of flexibility, and I knew this role would be a lot more demanding. But I also had kids that were teenagers. So it was like, you know what? It's a different stage in our life. Maybe it's time for me to exactly that, do something for myself, right? Not for the family, not deciding it based on how that was going to, I mean, again, it's definitely how it affects my family, but just knowing that it's a different position. It's this global company that has given me the opportunity to travel, across to the UK, throughout the US. Like it's, so there is more opportunity. It was just something that I thought might be that long-term goal or opportunity to do something for myself rather than, maybe putting family first per se. I mean, not that they're not first, but yeah. And then, like I said, just all of the juggling and the, getting to this point and knowing that I've raised, 2 kids almost to adulthood that seem to have good heads on their shoulders and seem to be on the right path, that, what, if they were on their own tomorrow, that they would figure it out. I think we've given them the ability to, to see, I guess, how we've strived, and to, again, being that role model to girls, again, being the same sex parent, being, that it's like you want them to see that you can do both, and you can do, I could put them first while still having a career, and yeah.
You
That
did
a minute?
Oh yeah, you went to 3 too.
Okay.
Not as
You're
hard as
good.
we thought.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Carla, you and I.
I see. I hear the like opportunity, like balance, choices. You made choices that were of benefit to you and your family, regardless of what perhaps others might have chosen or did choose, but it was right for you. And so I what I heard was you were confident in the choices that you made, and looking back now, even that remains like you were confident, and it all has worked out well for you. That career home balance, and look for opportunities that were going to satisfy you, which to me is a balance. It's, yeah, I was in the same boat too, because raising kids, a demanding job, I had to travel quite a bit too, and people say, oh, you got to leave the boys at home, and we were okay. We had family, we had sports and stuff like that too. Sorry, that's not about me. But I'm seeing the parallel again.
Yeah.
Totally. I definitely see, I put lifelong learner because I feel like, a lot of people don't change. I mean, I've changed a lot my career throughout the years, but a lot of people don't see that, and because it's scary, right? Oh, I have to learn something new, right? So for you, I see that, you are definitely a lifelong learner in that, and that, challenges for you, I feel, are more maybe of an adventure. Like you see it as not a challenge necessarily, but maybe I need this to perk me up, to move me forward, right? And that's being brave and courageous also. And I think I put self-care, even though I know right now you're like, I don't have, time, I'm not doing anything. But to me, it's self-care when you say, no, I'm not staying home with my kids. Now, that's the same for people that say they're staying home, right? There's no judgment, right or wrong. It's just doing what's right for us. And that is self-care. And for me, I didn't learn that. I always thought I wanted to be an at-home mom. And I learned that I didn't. I was a way better mom when I worked. And
Yeah,
so,
that's what I always said too.
yeah. And so that is self-care, or intuitive, or having a connection to yourself that you might not even know. And again, it's brave because you followed it, right? And I put the word persistent. I think that, meaning that, you and Trevor getting married young, right? And that, yeah, we have our challenges, but, we're persistent in working together to get through things. And so that was kind of a word that, and I think that within your career, you've been persistent in like, I am going to do what's best for me and challenge myself also. Yeah. Great. Those are awesome. So I'm going to send you those words, and I want you to put them somewhere, like put them up by your, where you work, or so that you can look at them, and especially look at them on days where you are like banging your head against the wall, right? And it's like, okay, look at this, I'm brave and courageous. And we remind ourselves of these things. And yeah. So tell me, how did it feel to have us giving you these words and these compliments? Was it okay? Was it easy? Did you agree with them?
I think I
Yeah,
agree.
definitely agree with them. And like I said, being a little bit vulnerable and open to hearing, hearing them.
Yeah, for sure. All right, perfect. So I will send those off to you. So just a little bit, these sessions, today I kind of did as kind of the guide, but I will allow at the beginning, most of the sessions to be like, okay, what do you need? And if there's specific questions, then we will mastermind and go through that. I don't want to put people on the spot. I know I did to a certain extent today, but not with really specific struggles or, and of course you're going to share whatever you're comfortable with. There is no rules to what you share and what you don't. Okay? If someone else shares something personal and you don't want to, then you don't. This is yours. It's all about what you need. So if you do have questions throughout the week with something you're struggling, make sure you write them down, because a lot of times we get here and then we'll sit here and then it's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I need any help with anything, right? So a lot of times writing them down. Definitely.
Struggles with enough time at work. Could you help me with that? Can I send some work your way?
Well, maybe I can help you slow down your mind a bit so then you can be as productive as possible to get that work done.
That would be helpful. Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes there's like, I don't know where to start. And
Right.
so, but yeah, if you do take a deep breath and take a step back conquer one thing at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
a learning.
also learned, well, I guess something that's just stuck in my mind lately is my doctor moved away, so I've been working with a nurse practitioner instead of my doctor. And so just in that, initial interview with her and whatnot was so people think they can multitask. And I used to always think I was great at multitasking. I could have my kids talking to me, the TV on, be working, and absorb all three things. I thought anyways, I always felt like I could be present for all three things at once and genuinely give an answer to my kids, even though I'm distracted. And I feel really a lot lately that I can't, right? That they're talking to me, and if I'm looking at the computer, I'm not hearing them, even though I'm like, yeah, that sounds good, and I'm listening and I answer them, but then 5 minutes later, I don't even remember what I answered them about, right? So at the time, the answer I gave them is probably fine, but it's like I said, being engaged and remembering that. So the nurse practitioner told me is our brain does not actually have the capacity to multitask. So that's the thing that keeps running through my mind. It's like, okay, I can't do both. My brain, it's like you can change very quickly from one to the other, but you cannot physically concentrate on two things at the same time. So I'm like, every time I'm jumping between, like, oh, answering this email. Oh, wait, I was working on this report. Oh, wait, so every time you're jumping back and forth, you're actually changing tasks. You're not multitasking. So I guess that's where that's been my biggest one lately. It's like, okay, like I said, deep breath, focus on what I'm doing, because like I said, jumping back and forth is not solving anything.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
We call it multitasking, but we are jumping from task to task.
Yeah. Yeah. There was actually a research study done, and they just put probes on people's brains while they were doing that. And they showed that people's IQ goes down 4 points minimum when they multitask, which is lower than if you smoked a joint. So it affects our brain function completely, and it deteriorates it because our brain then gets trained to be doing this all the time, and then we just get less productive, and we can't focus less and less and less because we're just training our brain that we need to be bouncing around all the time. So yeah, so that's a great awareness.
Well, I'm aware, and whether I've been able to fix it or whatnot yet, but it's like I said, that was just something that's resonated with me since I'd met with her. And it's like, okay, can't multitask, one thing at a time. What am I working on? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Just that frustration, I guess, that you're just like, oh, like, pop, especially in this whole computer world, right? Everything, different pop-ups, like, oh, this person's chat popped up, and then that meeting invites popping up, and it's you're easily distracted and drawn away from the task you're working on. So it's a learning curve.
Oh my
working
gosh.
through that.
Yeah.
And learning to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The other one. I respect it. I'm part of a larger team of team directors and stuff at universities, and I really respect there's one lady on our team who's so busy. And you just know just by the emails that come through and at what time they come through too. And there's I like her focus to a lot of emails. She'll say, you know what, I understand this is a priority, but I will get to that, and you could probably expect this next week, just because I have multiple priorities right now. So she just forthright with saying, I recognize the importance it is to you, but for me, I have a number of competing priorities, and you can expect this from me, at a given time. So she kind of gives a ballpark. I'm thinking most people just kind of won't even acknowledge that, but just trying to work, and to get it to where it needs to go as soon as they can. But she just takes control, says, I have all these other things first, and then I will get to yours. And like, I don't like that. I'm gonna start telling people the same thing. Sorry, like, this is not going to work on my schedule.
Yeah.
I'm not
and the interesting is
to meet your needs, right?
And the interesting thing is how often they solve it. By the time you get to it, maybe they've solved it themselves. They really didn't need you to do it for them. They will dig in, but as long as we're taking or giving, I guess they're taking, right? So that was another comment. What was my the other day? I screenshot a oh gosh, I've learned that often people don't actually appreciate when you go above and beyond. They just begin to expect it. So
Yeah.
it's that, so they're just expecting that, oh, she'll do it, so no big deal. But then when you actually give them that deadline and say, oh yeah, you know what, I can get this to you, but not till next Thursday, they go, oh shoot, I need it by Tuesday. I guess I'm just gonna have to figure it out. And then
Yeah.
then
They
you
do.
know, like, and
Yeah.
it's yeah, because if we just continue to give, other people don't take the ownership and don't, dig
Mhm.
in themselves, kind of thing.
Yeah, for
And then
sure.
they may ask questions in the meantime, but it might be, 5 minutes to answer a question instead of 2 hours to do the work, kind of thing. So it's like, yeah, absolutely. If you're working on it and you have questions, maybe I can find 5 minutes to help you through it, but I can't physically dig into it until later. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so as we kind of wrap up here, I was just wondering if off the top of your head, is there anything at this moment that strikes you that maybe you had a question or strikes you of what do I need the most right now? And I won't be able to give it to you today, but so I can prepare for the next few, classes and stuff. Anything specific that you know right now I really need help in this area or support?
I think that's the biggest challenge, is not knowing what we need.
Okay.
Like I know something has to change, something has to give, but I just don't know what. And like I said, when you hit your breaking point, it's like, you know what? I literally gave my manager 3 months and said, we have to figure this out. If I can't find a work-life balance by summertime, I can't keep going, kind of thing. So I think I'm just grasping at straws, right? Like you're just kind of grasping for like, what can I do to make myself better? Maybe am I the problem? Is work the problem? So if it's like, just, yeah, like I said, so I don't even know that I know what I need. I just am, like I said, looking for, see what there is out there to help,
Okay.
like you said, help train our brain, help
Mhm.
kind of, make us better people, so that maybe we can handle some of these situations better, or like you said, at least if you can't get away from the work side of it, maybe on the personal side, it's maybe I can rest my brain in
Mm,
the other side of it.
right. Yeah, for sure. No, that's perfect. That's a great, yeah. Carla, anything for you?
Of that right now that there's anything specific. Yeah. I think as I go along, I'll be able to identify that a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And so the first course, whenever you decide to delve in, is on the head. And you have to do that course before you will get the rest of the courses. So the heart and the hands course isn't up there for you to see yet, in that it starts with that whole Jamie self-awareness, and you had said, oh, well, I have awareness, but I might not be taking action. Well, awareness, you have to have awareness though, before you can do anything else. And so it kind of talks through what is self-awareness, what is self-leadership, how do we slow down our minds? So there you'll get really specific strategies within the courses of exactly, what to do. Now, we're going to talk about that here too, but within the whole supportive group also. I'm not teaching for an hour, whereas when you go to those courses, I just teach, right, the whole time when you watch those. So yeah, so just be aware this week. Be aware of where you might be struggling, and be aware of your wins this week, because anything to celebrate, I'd like you to bring back one thing at least from this week that you're going to celebrate and share with us next week. That's your homework. Okay.
Great.
Talking about ourselves.
Pardon? Sorry.
It'll be easier than talking about ourselves.
See, we did the hard thing right away. Now everything's easy.
That's awesome.
That's funny. Okay, so right before we go, I'd like you just to close your eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath in and lift your shoulders up to your ears. And then out and let them drop. Do it 2 more times. Hey, and I'm so grateful that you were here today. And if you need anything, if you have any problems with the site at all, please let me know. And if you have any questions before next Tuesday, please email me. I am here to help guide you through it. So yeah, it's been a privilege, and I'll look forward to seeing you next Tuesday.
Hey,
Sounds
thank
good.
you.
Thanks.
Nice meeting you.
Nice
All
meeting.
right.
Yeah, nice meeting you. Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
See you.